Hey our friends, in this video we're going to draw a really cool Pokemon. We're going to draw Tentacruel. I hope you're going to follow along with me. Let's get started. I have my paper horizontal so that we can draw all of the tentacles coming out. And we're going to start with our colored pencil. This is a 70% gray, so it's a darker gray Prismacolor pencil, but you can use whatever you have. You could just use a regular pencil if you want. Let's start by drawing the main shape of the body. We're going to draw a big circle, and we're going to draw over here on the top right of our paper so that we have room for those tentacles. Let's draw a circle. I'm going to draw it this big. And don't worry about this step being messy. You can just draw it lightly so that you can erase if you need to. We're going to turn the circle into a 3D sphere. We're going to draw and imagine the center of the sphere, or a ball. So we're going to draw it curved going right through the middle. Now right here, we're going to draw a circle for the center. I don't even know what this is, on the Tentacruel's shell, or the top part of its head or body. We're going to draw one there. Then we're also going to draw a curve right here. There's a kind of big eyes on each side. So we're going to draw the curve coming down and then come back up like this. And we're going to draw a circle or half circle coming out and back in. So this is inside of, I don't know, we could call it the helmet. Then we're going to draw the other eye over here on this side. So we're going to draw a curve or a circle, half circle coming out. And then we're going to draw it coming past and out. So it's sticking out of the shell. Looks like two eyeballs, except the eyes are actually down here. So I'm not sure what these are. Next, let's draw the shell coming out on each side. We're going to draw it curving out. Then right here, let's draw it curving forward. So this center line, it curves down, it goes through the circle, and then it's going to curve out. Now we're going to add two bumps here. We'll come in and connect to that center. Then we're going to draw two more bumps on the other side, connecting in to the curve out here. So we should see the bottom of the circle sticking out below the shell. Now right here in the middle, we're going to draw one of the claws. So it's coming right out, then it comes down, and then it curves back in. Now let's draw the other side. We're going to start here, curve down, and then there's some zigzags coming in, and then we're going to curve. And so it's got this really cool claw in the center. Kind of looks like the nose. Then we can draw the eyes. I'm going to draw a curve here for one eye, and we can draw the pupil inside. And then we're going to draw the other eye, but just barely can see it on the other side of the shell with a pupil just under the shell. Let's make the shell more 3D. We're going to add a little dimension here. Then we're going to add the dimension coming under. Then we can also draw it sticking out here, going over the eye. And then we're going to have it sticking out right here and then connecting back in to the side of the shell. Now we got the main shape of Tentacruel. We got to add the arms or the tentacles. Let's start with this one right here next to the nose or the claw. And we're going to draw it curving out. And then we're going to curve it around and back in. Let's make this look thicker. We'll start here, and we're going to draw it close to it, close to the first line that we already drew. And then as we get out here further, we're going to spread it out so that the tentacle gets thicker coming around. The next tentacle we'll add right next to it. We're going to go behind the first one we drew, come forward, curve around. And then this one's kind of thick, so we'll just add another line right next to it, and then we'll connect in. Now let's leave a little space and we'll draw the next one coming over here. Go behind that first one. We'll just curve down, can come back into the head. Let's draw a little one right here next to the claw. Then let's draw another one curving behind all of these. So I'm going to draw one here coming through, and then we're gonna curve down and then back up. And then one last one, we'll draw it coming through behind all of them and coming out to the side behind this one, and then we'll come back in. It's looking really awesome with all of these tentacles. Now let's add all of the arms on the other side. Now it has one that's coming really close to the camera, so it gets super thick. But first, let's draw the one that's in front of it. We're gonna draw one that's right under the eye. We're gonna curve next to the claw. And then we're gonna draw, we'll come back up here, we'll draw the other side of it, but watch this, we're getting really far away because it's close to us. Now we can draw this other one that's really close to the camera. So I'm gonna start here, we'll go under the first one we drew. Then we're gonna come around, and then we'll touch this one. We could even draw through it, but we're gonna draw it really thick. And then coming back in and getting smaller and closer to the first line that we drew coming into the head. Also be sure to keep your pencils sharp. Next tentacle, let's draw it right here. This one's really small, so we'll draw it coming behind the other ones. Then we can draw the next one here. We'll go behind this really big one. But it's coming close to us also, so we'll draw it thicker and then come back into the head. Let's draw two more. Draw one right here, coming behind and back into the head. One last one. Maybe this one doesn't stick out past, we'll just connect it there. Now there's some other details in here. I think he has some other claws in the background, but we'll leave it off to keep the lesson a little easier. Let's switch to coloring. I'm using my alcohol-based markers. If you have the same set, you can use the same colors, or you can use a different brand and just use colors that are similar. I have a red 15, 66 blue, CG5, which is a medium gray, and then also 120 or black. Let's first color our Tentacruel solid with all of our colors. This part will speed up, so remember to pause the video and take time to color your drawings. We finished coloring everything in solid, and it looks really cool. We could leave it just like this, except I think we should add highlights and shading to make it look more 3D. Let's start with the two red eyes. I'm gonna call them eyes. We're gonna use our number 2, and this is a dark red. We also left 2 highlights, or the paper showing through. This is where it'll look more shiny. We're gonna add a dark, it's not really a shadow, it's more like a reflection. We're gonna add this in and around the highlight to darken in. This already makes the eyes look more round. Let's do the same thing over here. One of my favorite things about alcohol-based markers, I mention it a lot, is that you can layer the colors on top of each other, especially if you're using marker paper. My favorite paper is Canson brand. This paper holds up to layering the markers and blending. Now let's switch to our white colored pencil. We're gonna make the highlights bigger, and we can even add little texture lines. Oh, and let's add a reflection or highlight on the bottom part of the eye that goes all the way around to the top. We can do the same thing over here on this side too. Don't forget to add this dark red on the center eye too. Now let's switch to the shell, and we're gonna add shading with our darker blue 74. We're gonna add it up here on the top. And we can also add a little lip on the inside of this eyeball. So I'm gonna trace around the red and come down, and then we can stop there. I'm gonna switch to the fine tip, and then we can get really thin and then make it thicker over here on the bottom. Then I'm gonna do a little lip on this side, but we won't go all the way around. We colored the underside of the shell, and then we're gonna color the side of this claw too. Now I'm gonna use a dark blue, and I'm gonna blend in the dark marker into the lighter blue. If you press really hard next to the marker, and then lightly press as you're getting away from it, you can create this really soft gradation. I'm going back over with a lighter blue, and you can smooth out the pencil texture. Now I'm going to use my white colored pencil to add little highlights underneath the eye. Also added shading and highlights down here on the center claw coming out of his nose. Now let's shade the tentacles. I'm using CG7. This is a darker gray, and we're gonna add shadows to make these look more 3D. We'll start here close to the head, and we'll add shadows right here and on each one where it's underneath the shell. This casts a shadow onto the tentacles. So that's already making it look really 3D just by adding this little shadow. Now I'm gonna go around and add a few more shadows on different spots of each tentacle. Then let's switch to our white colored pencil, and we can add highlights to make it look even more 3D. And we did it, we finished drawing and coloring Tentacruel. It turned out awesome. I hope you pause the video and take extra time to add all of those extra details. One of the last things I did was use a black colored pencil to add little extra outlines to just make it look more crisp. But we also used our white colored pencil to add highlights in different places to make it look like the light is shining on it. Then also that dark gray to add the shading. You could even finish your drawing by adding the whole underwater background. That would be even cooler. I hope you had a lot of fun following along with me and drawing Tentacruel. Remember, it's okay if your drawings look different than mine. The most important thing is to have fun and practice. And we'll see you later, art friends. Goodbye.